We will now hear from each speaker in the same order with their 2-minute responses, starting with Dr. Abbas Berziger.
Okay, thank you again. Let me go ahead and start where you left off, Salam, and that is about institutional authority. It's precisely because we lack hierarchy and institutional authority that moments like boycott and protest and collective action become absolutely indispensable. Right now, Muslims involved in MLI occupy extremely high positions in our institutions, and the dialogue that they so regularly support has been closed off about this program. There is no transparency, there is no clarity. So as much as we're talking about engagement, why can't we engage our own community? It's at these moments of closed doors that we have to resort to petitions, that we have to resort to public interference and collective action. So it's precisely that reason that we don't have institutional democratic culture in our communities, that boycott is used in order to bring our voices out. On MLI, I think the case is rested. There is a sense of adab at the very least, that this is not anybody's issue besides the Palestinian issue. And so there should be some deference, there should be some adab in deferring to Palestinian voices on this issue. I want to close a little bit since we want about proper information. So the Israeli ambassador didn't speak at the White House iftar, but can we confirm he was there? He was there. So as Gaza is being bombed, we're having dinner with the Israeli ambassador, and 11 kids in Irvine, California are put on probation for years because they interrupted a speech of the Israeli ambassador. The question is, I know you want to be at the table, but if they're only giving you table scraps, do you think an international security policy is going to be changed by nice smiles and cordial demeanor?
Next, we'll hear from Summer.
We'll wait for that. The thing is, we all know what is happening in Palestine. We all saw. We all agree that this is an absolute violation of human rights, and there is no person on this universe who should support that. However, no matter how right or ethical it may be, when a message is too daunting, too foreign, too whatever, too different, the message is not heard. Information isn't what's going to change oppressive policies. Psychologists have almost no evidence that facts actually change people's decision-making. People tend to embrace the facts that already confirm their worldview. It's called confirmation bias, and we tend to disregard the facts that don't align with that view. This is how we make sense of the world. I can tell you right now that 16,000 children will die today due to hunger-related causes, and yet nothing happens but a lot of talk. Just think of the plight of the Syrian refugees. We all see what's happening. But at the same time, if we do come to the table with our enemies, if we do walk into a room with Islamophobic funders, if we do walk and enter a room with the table with Zionists, are we really that afraid of our own selves that if we sit down at that table with Zionists or those who fund Islamophobia or the president himself, that we're going to lose our entire selves, what we believe in and what we know to be right? Are we that insecure? You're telling me that this body of American Muslims is so unintelligent, so uninspired, so easily manipulated? Some people might believe that. I don't believe that. I believe we are severely under-resourced, but that we are smart, we are capable, we have the truth on our side. And so, just finally, engagement matters because in this planet that is 2 degrees Celsius away from the utter destruction brought about by impending climate change, it's not us and them, it's we.
And finally, we'll hear response from Dr. Hatem Bazian.
That's okay.
That's my phone.
We're from California, so okay.
We're used to that.
Yes. So, the issue is not the engagement. Once again, MLI is paid for by Shalom Hartman. And as we know in our language, there is no free lunch. So why would Shalom Hartman give a fully paid trip to a group of Muslims and take them onto this trip? That's something that participants need to answer, but the Muslim community need to answer. There's no free lunch in here. Second, I think we need to understand that in relations to the countering violent extremism, we are living a COINTELPRO 2.0. And I think we need to talk to African American experiences in the 60s to understand what mechanisms did the government use in order to really torpedo the civil rights movement in that period. For no other reason than to understand the whole strategies that have been deployed. We're not only the new kids around. It's all the way from the Palmer raids in the late 1920s, all the way for us to understand that we're not alone in this process. Therefore, we need to contextualize Muslim struggle for civil rights, for justice within the broader history of this country and seek consultation, engagement with those who are extending their hand, the Japanese community, African American community, the Latino community, and interestingly enough, and there I touched both, the MLI people, while they were in Palestine, the African Americans were actually issuing one of the most progressive statements on domestic and transnational. And therefore, I think we are living at a moment where local and transnational is coming together, and I think we need to take benefit from this, both in relations to CVE, walking while you're black, flying while you're Muslim, have to be connected, and boycotting Israel has to be connected to actually challenge the police forces in here since they train together. If we can get that and build the most unique civil rights movement at this point, then we're missing the boat.
Okay. And now we're going to give you a chance to be a part of this discussion. I'm sorry. It's me. I'm totally nervous about this.
You're boycotting me.
I'm boycotting. I'm clearly not neutral on this. I'm sorry. We'll finally hear from Salam, and then we will open it up to question and answer. But I just want, actually, before I give Salam the floor, we will be doing written question and answer. So please pass them to the edges of the rows, and then we'll be collecting them.
No problem. I think, number one, again, I wish people would verify facts before spreading them, because I think it's important to understand that there's nobody, in my opinion, I've never seen anybody who feels that when they go attend a government meeting or are going and attending interfaith, that this is a quote-unquote privilege or that we're benefiting. They go there, I go there, we all go there to advocate for the interests of Muslims and for people of conscience. And in terms of CVE, I was there with the vice president when 200 Muslims were in the room with him for 90 minutes, and 90 minutes was drilling him about exactly the same issues that you're talking about, Hat and Abbas. Exactly the same issues. And so while people are protesting and working from that level, I think it's important to also have people at the table. And I hope that at some point we can be more sophisticated so that the two levels of this kind of engagement and work are actually working hand in hand, not working against one another. So I think that's important. And the last thing, I just wanted to, somebody's supposed to be at the laptop. I got 40 seconds. I'd like to pass out something called the Islamic Ethics of Discourse, and they'll put it on the screen. And it comes from the Quranic verse, and pay heed unto God and his apostle, and do not be at variance with one another, lest you lose heart and your moral strength. Mainly just getting into so many disputes. Don't dispute things so much that you lose heart and your moral strength, and be patient in adversity, for verily God is with those who are patient in adversity. So I have 6 points in 10 seconds. Organizations and individuals will naturally conduct themselves based on their best judgment. I guess I'll save it for the Q&A. But it's the Islamic Ethics of Discourse. I think we should all look at it. I'd like to have a discussion about it and get organizations to support it so that we can manage our differences of opinion in a more effective way. Thank you.